15-inch MacBook Pros. Now, in my opinion, these are the best MacBook you can buy. Here are the reasons why. What's up? Welcome to Tech Select. My name is Linus and it's such an honor to be here yet for another exciting video. Now in today's video we're just discussing about the 15-inch MacBook Pros. Now in this particular case I'm not talking about anything new. I'm not talking about M3, M2, M1, nothing like that. We are talking about the older generation MacBook Pros. Now why I always like talking about older generation MacBook Pros is because the newer ones are coming out. The older ones are becoming cheaper and becoming more affordable to people all over the world, especially to people like me. I don't see me ever spending about $4,000 on a computer. I think $2,500 on a computer. Like, really? Anywho, so you have finally made up your mind and you're like, you know what? I want to buy myself a MacBook Pro. So in this particular case, I would highly recommend you get yourself a 15-inch MacBook Pro. Now I can already hear people raising their forks, their pitchforks, the sticks like, hey, that is so wrong. What about the 13s? What about the MacBook Airs? Well, if your target is just to have a machine that you can use on your day-to-day and have something light with you, then you can go with the 13-inch. Now, if you are talking about like the 2012 MacBook Pros, early 2013, the 2011s, if you're looking for something light, avoid those. Those things are practically heavy. The reason being, they are crafted out of, aluminum. The whole body is aluminum and it is pretty heavy. So if you're looking for something light, then don't even bother. But here is the thing. The 15-inch MacBook Pros to me are the best bang for your buck, especially if you're looking for a used machine. So if you're kind of researching on what you should buy when you're looking for a used one, this is the video for you. Now, reason number one why I feel like the 15 is the good bang for the buck is a really good display. Now, we all know MacBooks have really amazing displays. In this particular case, they're just amazing. The resolution is great. And now when you buy the 15-inch, you even have a lot more real estate on this already amazing screen. So you get basically really big screen to do your work and all this, and just gives it amazing usability. If you're watching a movie, it feels better on a big screen, so that 15-inch will really do you wonders. Now, the other thing also is in terms of ports, the 15-inch MacBook Pros do have a lot of ports. If you're looking at anything below the 2015, so 2014 actually and below, 2014 and below, you actually do get a vast array of ports. You have an HDMI port, some USB ports, Firewire ports, headphone jack, and of course MagSafe, which is just amazing. And of course, all this, it just does give you a vast array. Now, the other reason why you should pick up a 15-inch MacBook Pro in this particular case, as opposed to the 13 or the 12.5, is most 15-inch MacBook Pros did come with i7 processors. Now, i7 processor definitely will just be giving you a lot more performance as opposed to most 13s that came with an i5. Of course, there are 12 13s that came with an i7, but in this particular case, the bigger ones, they're normally spec'd out for a lot more work, giving you better performance, and most of them are spec'd out, with like 16 GB of RAM, giving it a lot more performance. Now, the other reason also is most of the 15-inch MacBook Pros did come with discrete graphics. So basically you ended up with two graphics cards, one from Intel, and you ended up with either an Nvidia graphics card or an AMD graphics card, and that would basically boost your performance in case you're going to do things like video editing, or if you're going to do heavy intensive stuff, or you're going to do some slight gaming and stuff like that. So you ended up with a machine that had two graphics cards and two graphic cards. So each time you try to do something heavy, it will definitely switch off from the Intel to maybe Nvidia or to AMD. Now, this here is where I've got to warn you. If you are going to buy a 15-inch MacBook Pro and you're looking at the models 2012, 2011, and 2010, I'll say this again. If you're planning on buying a 15-inch MacBook Pro and you're looking at 2012, 2011, and 2010, avoid the ones that come with the Nvidia discrete graphics. avoid those like a plague. Like, I cannot stress it enough. Flee from those machines. If you're planning on any of those years, 2012, 11, and 10, you're better off with the machine without the integrated graphics. The one which just runs on Intel, you're better off with that. Reason being is most of those came with a factory error. There was something about the chip that controls the voltage that goes to the graphics card, and after some time that chip would just smoke itself and it would burn itself out, and then you end up with a display that is not working. Now, when the machines were still new back then, what people would do is they'll take them back to Apple and they'll swap them out for a new machine. But now, remember, we were talking about a 2012 machine, and it's so many years, over 10, 12, 13 years ago. So right now you cannot take it back. So once you buy one with those discrete graphics and it dies on you, then definitely you're doomed. So if you're planning on buying, that is my little bit tech tip right here. Avoid those with the integrated graphics card if you're talking about 2012, 10, and 11. Also the 2013, early 2013, avoid those. If you're looking at mid 2013 going into 2014, those ones are okay, because first of all, most of them, they switched over from Nvidia, they switched over to AMD graphics. Now those can actually do you well, so avoid. Especially there is a particular Nvidia graphics, I think it's the 650M, either 650 or 630. I'll throw an overlay over there. Just avoid that machine completely. I'll also be showing you a video now. You can check and see which one your machine does have. Now, the other reason why you should actually pick up the 15-inch MacBook Pro as opposed to the 12.5 and 13s is greater battery. Now, of course, the machine is bigger, so they have a lot more space to stuff a much bigger battery in it, which will definitely push you a longer time. And also, remember, much as the screen is really big, you need a lot more juice to power it. But then the whole thing is, because they have more space, they actually did cram a bigger battery in there, so you end up with better battery life. But remember, since you're buying a used one, most times the batteries will be weak, and if you can land yourself a replacement battery, the better for you. That means you can now get original power ratings and actually push your enjoyment, your fun with the machine for longer. Now, the final reason why you should get yourself a 15-inch MacBook Pro as opposed to the smaller ones is cooling. I cannot stress this enough. Everybody that has used, like now for instance, I used the 2012 MacBook Pro for a very, very long time, and I must say the one thing I hated the most about that machine was, man, that thing would heat up. Now, generally, thermals on the smaller machines have never really been that great, especially those that are running on Intel and the older generations at that. So, everything is crammed into a tiny little space, and there's a tiny fan over there trying to cool everything down, and that would just make it really run very, very, very hot. So if you don't want to experience this problem of having a machine that is always hot, always cooking you, then you're much better off just buying the 15-inch version. First of all, the 15-inch MacBooks came with two fans, so you have dual fans, which is dual cooling over there. They were bigger in size, and of course they had these inlets on the sides where the air goes in and spat out on the other side by the fans, and it just made better cooling. That there is like the major reason as to why it takes the cake. It's the better option in my view in this particular case, because the smaller ones just heat up too much, and in this particular case the 15, just amazing. It's a big machine. It just feels a lot better. They're built like a tank, and you have a lot more estates to play with. So there are the reasons as to why you should go pick yourself up a 15-inch MacBook Pro as opposed to the 13 and 12.5 MacBook Pros right there. This in case you're looking for a used MacBook, then definitely consider getting yourself a 15-inch. If you want something lighter, because you're going to say they're a bit heavy and what, if you want something lighter, then you can go for like the 2014, 2015. We'll be covering that in yet another video, so you might want to subscribe and also hit the notification bell so that you are alerted each time a new video does drop on this here channel. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think about the 15-inch MacBook Pros? Have you used one before? What is your experience with it? And also, just if you like this video, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you feel it's not valuable information for you. But just give us the feedback. I really love reading feedback. I love reading comments from you, the people that do watch my videos. And also thank you so much to everybody that has subscribed. Well, that is it for this video. Make sure that you do catch up with me in the next video as we discuss a lot more in the tech world. My name is Linus, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye-bye.